Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here with you. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. Excuse me. So glad you could be with me. Every time I talk about the Oasis now, after these last couple of weeks sitting in this library, it just doesn't seem like it's quite the same. I'd rather be out with those nice views that I've had for you, but hey, winter is winter, and even though I love you guys, I don't love you enough to be out in the freezing cold. I'm not a weatherman. Yesterday was November the 24th, the year 2022, and it was Thanksgiving here in America. An American holiday, a federal holiday, a national holiday, and I really hope that your Thanksgiving went well. I really do hope that it was happy. Either way, we as Christians, we are exhorted to rejoice in the Lord. And then the Apostle Paul wrote it this way: rejoice in the Lord. And again I say, rejoice. In everything give thanks. And we see this throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament about being thankful, about being grateful, about giving thanks to God. Now, here's something for you. This is something, again, I don't know that I've actually mentioned it on this broadcast in almost getting close to 3 years I've been doing this broadcast. Hard to believe. I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you about the necessity to be grateful or to be thankful. Let me start with this. First of all, on one broadcast at least, I told you that what I do with my nervous system is I use it as a gauge, sort of like a thermometer or an alarm system. If I develop some symptoms coming from my nervous system, it's indicating to me that I'm either rushing, I'm in a hurry, I'm overworked, whatever. I don't take much in the, like what if I'm in pain. I mean, actual physical pain. I don't take much ibuprofen or the NSAID medications, Aleve and all these things. I don't take them much. In fact, hardly at all. And my reasoning is, and again, I'm not saying you should do this. My reasoning is that I want to know how much pain am I in, because that's going to be an indication of how long should I rest. Like at the gym, I always have what they call an active rest, meaning I don't not go. I go and I do something that's a bit lighter, or just get some blood through the muscles. I moderate. Without the knowledge, if I'm on too much of the ibuprofen or the acetaminophen or any of these pain medicines, I may not know. I may be damaging the muscle more. So that's something that I do also with my nervous system. I start to feel symptoms. I say, okay, something's not right. Well, that's pretty obvious. So it could be I'm overworked, tired, I'm in a rush, I'm in a hurry. So in other words, I could take measures. And it's a great thing, and I do suggest that you use that. I don't suggest so much you follow me as far as not taking ibuprofen or aspirins or whatever you want to take when you're in pain. I avoid them for that reason. I avoid them so that I can gauge where's my body at, how much pain am I in. And this is saying to me, I got to slow down more, whatever. But with the nervous system, it's a great way to use it as a kind of a personal trainer, where you can say, okay, I got to be really tense because I'm starting to feel panicky, or my stomach's hurting, or palpitations or whatever. Again, I'm always reminding you that when they're truly nervous symptoms and not indicative of something else. But gratitude, think about it. I'm not really suggesting so much that Let me think about this for a second. I'm not really saying to you, oh God, I thank you for this panic attack. Can I have more? I'm not saying that. I am saying that if it wasn't for the many troubles that I've had in my life, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Benjamin Disraeli, the former Prime Minister of England, once said, adversity is the greatest teacher. And gratitude and being thankful to God in the midst of a depression, in the midst of of nervousness. Someone wrote to me yesterday, so I need extra prayer today, so I prayed. I said, that's all good. That's all good. But to be thankful to God and to be grateful for God. Like, for instance, in our Wednesday evening service, I said yesterday was Thanksgiving. And on our Wednesday evening service, the eve, Thanksgiving Eve, I was talking about the hymn, Count Your Blessings. Name them one by one. That's the song. And as I began to meditate later that night, on the very hymn I was asking other people to meditate on, I just realized how many things are in my life that I need to be grateful for. So, we have a habit, human beings have a habit of always concentrating on the problem. And this, for you, with the nervous symptoms, whatever they may be, it's going to make your symptoms worse. Especially because the attitude of your mind is now going south with the symptom. Biblically, we are exhorted hundreds of times throughout the scriptures, be thankful, be grateful, give praise to God. If you do, and when you do, you're going to find remember I talked about thinking of your mind as climate, like weather? The climate starts to change. If you start to count your blessings, presumably there's probably not too many, if anybody, watching this YouTube channel that's actually homeless on the street. So you have some shelter. Presumably you have food that's been sustaining you. If you've been with me from the beginning, you've had something to eat in 3 years. And so on. You can get the picture. There's a lot, if you count your blessings, there's a lot to be grateful for. And then the mind starts to view your life in general from a different point, right? A point of view. Now, the symptoms may still be there, but this also is going to help your body to relax, just calm down, take pressure off the nervous system, symptoms start to diminish, and our goal, and we're almost into December, our goal from the beginning of January 2022 was that you'll be symptom-free by the end of the year. We have a couple of you that are saying just the symptoms are just getting less and less and less. With that, let me remind you, beware of the inevitable setback. It comes, everybody has them. You will be a unique case if you don't, so be careful of that. Because when you're feeling good, especially for days, weeks, and then months, and then all of a sudden, boom, symptoms return, it can be very discouraging if you're not prepared for it. So I just want to mention that to you. But that being said, remember to be grateful to God, to be thankful to God. Thank Him for today. After this broadcast is done, and we'll be done in just a couple of minutes here, thank Him for the things that you have, instead of always talking, praying, and thinking about the things you don't have. Thank Him for what you have. Thank Him for your, whatever you could think of. And I'm sure if you were to even take the time and put it on a piece of paper, I didn't do that, and you put it on a ledger as what's going for you, what's going against you when it comes to, God, you're going to find that there's a huge discrepancy between what's good and what's not so good, like in this case mainly your symptoms. Be grateful. Give God the thanks. Start right now. After this broadcast is finished, thank Him for anything. Not anything, thank Him for everything. Everything you could think of. Boy, there's so much. You know what? I'll leave it up to you. You get creative. Start looking around, thanking him for this and that. Right now, my heater just kicked in. Thanking him for that. I got heat and I'm not freezing here. Thanking him for the food that I had before I came here this afternoon, and the food I'm going to have when I go home, and the clothes, and then just keep going from there. Be grateful, be thankful, and remember that this is one of God's tools to combat your anxieties and your depressions. Let me pray for you. Father, I pray for my friends today that they would take this to heart. And though it's difficult, especially when you're depressed, to give God thanks and praise. Lord, Father, help them to be able to do so and to know that they should be doing this for their own good as well as your glory. Help all of us, God, to be grateful for what you have done, you are doing, and you've yet to do, because you are good, and you're good all the time. Amen. All right, well, that's all I have for you for today. Be grateful, be thankful, and make sure you give the glory and the thanks to God. Today, Friday, November the 25th. Probably going to be with you tomorrow, I think, being Saturday when I'll be here at my office again, the new Oasis. Till I can get back outside again, which is going to be some months from now, I presume. But if you're new to the channel, you want to be with us, there's over 400 teachings on here on anxiety and depression. They're little tiny teachings, little, almost like snacks. They're not snacks, they're more like super vitamins. Then just subscribe, hit the notification button. Please don't forget to share these broadcasts with people that need them. Always keeping in mind, I didn't come on YouTube to be a big star, you know. No, I didn't do that. I come on to help people like you. So why don't you pass it along and share these broadcasts with others so that they can have the same blessings that you have. Okay? All right. God willing, I will see you here again tomorrow. And as always, I remind you, make sure, whatever you do, make sure the peace of Christ rules in your heart. God bless. See you tomorrow.